Last week was...
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip Committee meeting. Today's May 13th, 2019. We'll call this meeting to order at 7:31. Will you call the roll, please?
Currently, Trustee Dalzell.
Here.
Trustee Zielinski.
Here.
Trustee Juarez.
Here.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Here.
Trustee Murphy.
Here.
Mayor Ryan.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We don't have a real heavy agenda this evening, and I understand our friend Judge Reyes will be here shortly, so we're going to move along with the agenda in the meantime. And then when we'll introduce him. A couple of quick notes I had on my agenda here. Just some notes before we start the meeting. Reports, I should say. Please keep in mind, Public Works is going to be passing out some literature to all the local businesses in that quadrant over near 122nd and Laramie. Where's Mike? Here you are, Mike. Sorry, you moved over on us there. Okay. We're going to actually, the railroad's going to repair the tracks out in front of Coca-Cola at 122nd and Laramie. So that whole section, they're going to do it in one day on a Sunday. So all those businesses south of Coca-Cola at 122nd and Laramie are going to be closed, or need to be closed for the day, basically because they're not going to be able to get access across the tracks. And unfortunately, we don't even have a fire road at this time to get them out of there, and that's a plan we're going to look at next. There's some sort of fire road in the meantime as a second passage out of that neighborhood and stuff then too.
I had talked to the fire chief, and he's aware that they have arrangements to get through, I believe, Coca-Cola, to get to those businesses.
Okay. Okay. So, evening, Judge. How are you? Good. No problem. Oh, no, please. No, not a problem. We're just getting started. Thank you for being here tonight. We're just a couple of quick notes here, and we'll get started. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Friday, we're testing out a new product this year. I know last year it was a pretty popular idea. The village has never historically used speed bumps in our community before. Last year we used temporary ones that were actually, the police department was moving every other week, so nobody knew where it was going to show up next. It was kind of a, where's Waldo? But it was effective. I mean, so now this year we're trying a new product. Public Works installed it 119th and Trip on Friday, and Mike, I went and bounced over it today myself real quick on the way to work, and
I bounced over him yesterday.
Yeah, see, and they say hopefully it'll do a trick. It's right in front of the Little League fields, and obviously this is a popular time of the year to be using the Little League fields and so forth. There are a lot of kids out there, and they have a banner year this year with participation with the Little League. I also want to thank, 2 weeks ago we had the village-wide cleanup day. I want to thank my assistant Becky, great job organizing. We had some residents that came out and helped, and this year it was really kind of special. A lot of the corporations in town, a lot of the companies sent out people to help clean up the village. We actually filled up almost 4 dump trucks of garbage on the streets, and Coca-Cola sent out a crew of people, GC America, Rife Container sent out a group of people, Scott's Garage, and most importantly, the sprinkler fitters sent out 25 apprentices, I believe, that came out to help out. It was kind of funny, you know, like anything else, you're out picking up garbage. And I was working with the sprinkler fitters over on Cicero Avenue, right where you come off the ramp. And unfortunately, it's a hot spot where everybody hits each other's car right there. So we're finding fenders and license plates and everything else over there and stuff, you know. And sure enough, the first thing I bent over and picked up was a $20 bill laying in the weeds and stuff, you know. So full of mud. That thing's been out there for a while. Part of it was kind of... Huh?
Lunch was on
No, I don't think anybody will take it yet. That part of the corner was deteriorated, so I got to get somebody that wants to pass that one off. We'll see what happens, you know. So.
Please don't pass it to the clerk.
Yeah, maybe I didn't buy my sticker yet. Maybe, you know. So.
They will be duly warned.
Yeah, and then I'll finish up here. The please keep in mind.
Swamporama was out there too, John.
What's that?
Swamporama had a.
Oh yeah. Well, I apologize, you're right. The owners of the Swap-A-Ram, of the flea market, they own 3 or 4 flea markets, and actually the owners came out and helped out clean up, too. They actually worked with Trustee Murphy. They did a nice job helping out and stuff. So thank you to all, Trustee McLaurin, thank you for being out there to help us, too. One more quick note. Please keep in mind, we're going to post this on our village website, Facebook, and I'll have it out in the village hall here, too. The 2019 Community Services Block Grant Scholarship Programs available for soon-to-be college students provides financial assistance for income-eligible students enrolled in post-secondary educational programs. Basically, students enrolled in full-time colleges in Illinois or university by September 15th may qualify for a scholarship. Recipients must have primary residence in suburban Cook County and meet the established income guidelines. Scholarships range from $500 to $3,000 for payment of tuition, books, uniforms, and fees related to course study. In addition to the scholarships are paid directly to the designated institution on behalf of the applicant. So I'll put all the criteria, like I say, on all of our social media venues, as well as in our hallway up here, so when folks are coming in and do their business in the village hall, they'll see that. I'd like to start the evening now with, certainly with introducing the Honorable Judge Jesse Reyes. Came join us this evening, Judge. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come out tonight, too, Judge. If you would like to come up. Judge, actually, if you don't mind, I read something real nice that you made something in the paper about 10 days ago. You're running for Supreme Court?
Yes.
Congratulations. Good luck with that.
Wow.
You know, so. I saw this. It was a nice article you did in the Gazette, like a North Suburban newspaper, and it just said that Illinois 1st District Appellate Court Judge Jesse Reyes has announced he will run in the Democratic primary for a seat on the Illinois Supreme Court. The primary will be held on Tuesday, March 17th, 2020. And your comment here was to say that as a descendant of immigrants and a product of a blue-collar family, I know the struggles many people in the state of Illinois have had to endure on a daily basis. Also, you acknowledge that I know what it means to have dreams, yet not know if you will ever be able to fulfill them because of your particular circumstances. I seek to serve as a justice on the Illinois Supreme Court because it's the highest calling in public service in the state, and you also noted that I can think of no better way to serve the people of this state. You were raised and educated in Pilsen and Bridgeport communities. Judge Reyes was the eldest of 4 children and the only one to attend college. In 1997, his peers elected him as an associate judge on the circuit court. In 2006, Judge Reyes became the first Latino to lead the Illinois Judges Association and won election to the 1st District Appellate Court in November 2012, becoming the first Latino elected to the Appellate Court in Illinois. Congratulations, that's great.
Wow.
And then also, Judge Reyes is the founding member of the current president of the Diversity Scholarship Foundation. He is also a founding member of the former president of the Illinois Judges Foundation. So thank you very much for being here tonight, Judge. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. John Ryan. Nice to meet you, sir. I'd like to ask, in order of participation or the election, the consolidated election that was held on April 2nd, 2019 of this year, we'll call up each person to take the oath of office. Judge, did you have something too? Sorry, I had the oath right here too. Okay. Yeah, we can, unless you had something else. But each person can be listed on here then too. We'll call up one at a time to do it that way?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. So,
I'm easy.
thank you. So the first would be Trustee Rich Dalzell.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm sure you want to get started, right? All right. So raise your right hand and then repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Richard Delzell,
Having been duly elected
have been duly elected
to the office of village trustee
to the office of village trustee
in the village of Alsip
in the village of Alsip
of the county of Cook
of the county of Cook
and state of Illinois,
and the state of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of Village of Alsip Trustee
the duties of the office of the Village of Trustee
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next will be Christine McLaughlin, trustee.
Okay. Raise your right hand. All right. And then repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Christine McLaughlin,
having been duly elected
having been duly elected
to the office of Village Trustee
to the office of Village Trustee
in the Village of Alsip
in the Village of Alsip
in the County of Cook
in the County of Cook
and State of Illinois,
in the State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of
of the
Illinois,
State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office
of the office
Village of Alsip Trustee
of Village of Alsip Trustee
to the best of my
to
ability.
the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Next, we had trustee Christopher Murphy.
Okay. Raise your right hand and then repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Chris Murphy,
having been duly elected
having been duly elected
to the office of
to the office of
Village Trustee
Village Trustee
in the Village of Alsip
in the Village of Alsip
in the County of Cook
in the County of Cook
and the State of Illinois,
and the State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of
and the Constitution of
the State of Illinois,
the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of office
of Village Alsip Trustee
of Village Alsip Trustee
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge.
Next, will we please have Catalina Nava Esparza?
Raise your right hand. Okay. And then repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Catalina Nava Esparza,
having been duly elected
having been duly elected
to the office of Village Trustee
to the office of Village Trustee
in the Village of Alsip
in the Village of Alsip
in the County of Cook
in the County of Cook
and the State of Illinois,
and the State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of
that I will support the Constitution of
the United States
the United States
and the Constitution of
and the Constitution of
the State of Illinois,
the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of
Office of Village of Alsip Trustee.
the duties of
Office.
Office of
Village
Trustee
Alsip Trustee. To the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
Okay. Congratulations.
Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Yes.
Trustees sign them. Thank you, sir.
Trustees, how about if we take 5 or 10 minutes for a couple of family photos, and we can finish up our meeting after that?
A little bit.
Mayor? Mayor?
Alex, I'm so glad you took a picture of me.
Hi, Chuck. Nice to see you.
With a nail biter.
Yeah. Am I off?
No, you can't test it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. taking it home.
Another 4 years.
Thank you, dear.
We're gonna have to get you some.
By the time you people eat, it might be shortened a little bit.
That's good.
Just cut the cardboard a little bit.
No.
Why don't you sign down there,
Okay.
please?
Thank you.
Murph, you want to get some pictures?
You want? You don't want to stay for martini cake? Shaken, not stirred?
Actually, I just told Jay I'm gonna go off and turn the refrigerator on upstairs because.
Last time. Okay.
Wait, did I give you enough?
Yeah,
I think I got all the ones for this year.
that'll be good.
Thank you. No, I have taller ones at home.
Okay. You come in.
I can't walk very well in some of those.
Stand behind Mama.
What the hell's the IVPA?
Yeah, don't zoom in that much.
That was for all of the different pumping station repairs and some of the infrastructure updates that we had. The pipe, 170 glass feet down. And I think it was the 2 8-inch mains.
What kind of interest rate is that?
Really cheap.
$70,000.
Sign down here, please.
Nearly 40.
Oh no, that's how much it's due. We're paying that.
Right. But interest on. I would imagine that's it. There's one left. Any payments made prior to this, I would imagine, was a little bit there.
Counter's killing me. Hello.
Yeah, right.
Mr. Quinn?
Back to work.
How about you? How's the family? Yeah.
See your son Dan down in my driveway one time this winter.
Yeah. So he said he had to go over, and then he says while he was over there taking care of one of his buddies, that he said that he was going to do yours. So.
I have to tell you, I
Worked out well.
do.
My kids, you know,
I just love your son.
I can do it.
Just one of them?
Yeah.
Arthur,
You
he's the
probably
best.
shouldn't be either.
Sure.
Oh, I bet. Hey, Miss Sue.
How are you? I'm going to come around. I want a hug. I want a 10-quick hug.
Sure.
Great. How are you? How's everything? Life is awesome.
Boys are doing well.
Work, is busy, but that's what's giving me more gray hair than the guys, so that's better.
It's this time they're quick.
This is the Irish one.
Catalina. I'm sorry.
I can do the mixed one now.
Put your sign on the bottom one.
I'll talk to you later.
Tell Dan hi.
We'll do.
Thank you.
Judge, can I let go now?
They finally caught up with you.
Right?
What's wrong with
Whatever days they have to squeeze that
Can't have it, but I want it.
Last Monday.
They didn't cut it. She wasn't. And I let her know that was here, and she said she wanted to get it, and it was.
I know, right?
Got her,
I know you. Case dismissed.
Oh, very good.
Or to the gallows.
I don't want to get my toes run over.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I stepped out of the way.
Oh, really?
I grew up around Market Park. My dad was a policeman on 35th Street.
Oh, really?
I was scholarship play football. 50 years old. Since about the 70s. I took the test and I was don't, you know, I didn't know any different. I called my dad.
Oh, wow, good for him.
I wish I could do more for financial.
Father Novak's a good friend.
Oh, really? Paul Novik's a nice
Why there is not a defibrillator in the question mark. Cabinet from one, but it doesn't have.
You do the village business now? I can't stay. The market's been crashing. I gotta get in early tomorrow.
Oh, it won't take long. We're just gonna have cake and then we're gonna go out for a couple drinks. We're gonna have cake and then go out for a couple drinks. But
Yeah, I can't stay.
all right.
It's down like 3%.
Oh yeah, it's just 600 points. Yeah, trade war.
It should be just right inside the doors.
I'm gonna be out to the lake. I think about coming up for the night.
I have a golf outing at with John. It's a village one. That's Friday, and then I was going to go up Saturday and probably come home midday Sunday. So going up for the day. I mean, if you want to go, we can go out and maybe.
I'm thinking.
All right,
It's supposed to be
give them the
it's
kids.
supposed to be a beautiful day. Have your kids. So next
Oh, let's go.
send the vouchers and beers, go gamble, and be here Sunday morning.
That'll be fine.
About 4 to 7.
I'm glad we're taking this little time out here, otherwise I'd be missing half the meeting.
They,
Yeah, right. All right, John. He knows who you are. Let's go.
did ya? Nice. Thank you. I did a heck of a job on it, didn't I?
You did. Yeah. You should have just put light marking instead of Sharpie.
John, I think.
Is there a cabinet?
How's the meeting look from this side?
Good.
Somebody asked me to show up.
Thanks.
Benton Harbor, Michigan.
Get started or what?
Started right for it.
Should have missed this week.
Wow.
My puppy's paw. Not 4 months yet, and she's 41 and a half now. Her siblings are 10 pounds lighter than she is.
Did you see the last article where the people who were raising their dog found out it was a bear? You might want to look at it
No,
again.
I was never changing the TV, so I was there and I'm like.
It's so good for cash flow.
Yeah.
I like being done with this, but I like 3 or 4 times.
Like, I've not seen a German Shepherd before. She's going to be.
Yeah.
Simple.
Has a lot of space.
And then I'm done for the year.
I said, how big is this property?
Wow.
I need another house.
There you go.
Give these back to Chuck.
No, they didn't dig on the box. They didn't give them to me.
Yeah, on my case.
An agenda.
What a slacker.
Terrible.
They had to get rid of it because it was yeah, exactly.
So he's the alpha male?
It's a chihuahua. So. They have any teeth, so it doesn't really.
Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order. And to finish up business this evening, again,
Excuse me, one
Good.
point of order. Trustee Nava Esparza has joined the meeting at 7:57 p.m. after being sworn in.
thank you. So we'll move ahead with our agenda. Number 2 on my report was to request approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip amending Chapter 4, alcoholic beverages and liquor control of the Alsip Municipal Code to provide for a liquor license classification for certain mini-marts being part of the gasoline service station and regulations pertaining thereto. In other words, this, folks, I asked for an ordinance to be drafted that identifies with video gaming at gas stations. What I was really looking for was square footage. I want to make sure that by allowing video gaming at a gas station, that it wasn't going to be like, say like some business models, depending on what size the store may be. Back in the old days, you always had the Clark gas stations. It was just gas and some candy. I don't want to just make this where it's just gas and games, that kind of thing. So what I had in the ordinance, trustees, everyone's looking at, is we created, which we talked about last week, we created what's now known as a Class FG, it's Frank George license. This will authorize the sale at retail of alcoholic liquor in its original packages for consumption off premises and retail sale of beer and wine only for consumption on premises if you're video gaming in a gas station. A Class FG license shall be only issued for mini-marts being part of the gasoline service station. The following classifications shall be met for the issuance and continued validity of this said license. So basically what it breaks down to is that A, the sale of beer for consumption off premises in single containers less than a quart shall be prohibited, which we do that anyway. You can't just walk into a gas station anywhere, or a store for that matter, and buy just a can of beer. We don't allow that in our town. But more importantly, I wanted to identify with B, the retail area of the mini-mart shall be at least 800 square feet. Only 15% of the display space may be used for the sale of alcoholic liquor. And D, that portion of the mini-mart space where on-premise retail sales and consumption of beer and wine are permitted shall not be less than 160 square feet, no more than 20%. So, again, I want to break this down to say that we heard from a couple of video gaming companies that you need at least a 20-foot by 8-foot space. That breaks down to 160 square feet. Myself and my assistant, Becky Smith, we went out and looked at some of the local gas stations in town. We looked at 4 or 5 establishments. Half were 800 square feet and larger, the other half were not. And I was trying to identify with at least 800 square feet to say a mini-mart or gas station has to be at least 800 square feet to participate in video gaming. I want to make sure that at least 50% of the store is dedicated for its original use, which was obviously retail. 15% was used for coffee and whatnot, and another 15% was used for the liquor sales because you need that to get to the gaming. So at least 80% of that store has to be for its original intent, with 160 square feet left for gaming. I also am making a suggestion here that basically I thought this ordinance is, we're not voting on this evening, so we can certainly talk about it further if you wish, but I believe this captured the spirit of what we were trying to look for. And basically, I had the attorney draft this, and also you'll notice that the fees on here are a little bit higher than what we charge typical fees for liquor licenses. A typical liquor license costs $5,600 with a $1,700 renewal. I believe there might be more calls for service or more oversight because of both consumption and retail sales. Therefore, I'm suggesting, but it doesn't have to be because this hasn't been approved yet, of a $7,500 license with a $2,300 renewal cost to do so. It's not to hurt the establishments that want to participate in this. I just want to make sure we're covering our costs for more oversight, by the police department and whatnot then too, possibly other entities of the village. So that was my view on this. What everyone had in their packets was a couple of examples. I spoke to one vendor with the Shell gas station, 117th and Pulaski. He only had 768 square feet, and he would need to add on to his store should he want to participate. I've seen other locations, like in other communities, like in Crestwood, they're actually adding on to their stores to accommodate. So that's where I was at with that. Any questions on this right now? Okay. We can revisit this. This is certainly more at another time. I know this is a lot to digest, but again, that's why we're here for a committee meeting then too. So thank you. And next we'll move on with the clerk's report. Clerk Pretzel.
Thank you, Mayor Ryan. We have the presentation of the April 2019 FOIA report. There were 42 total last month. That is all, Mayor Ryan.
Thank you. Standing committee reports, Finance, Trustee McLaurin.
You're going to skip over the public?
Sorry, I did. And I'm sorry, we did have public forum. I had notes all over my paper here. So, public forum, would anyone in the audience wish to address the board this evening? Come on. You stuck? Thank you. No, nobody wished to address the board this evening. Next, standing committee report. Finance Committee, Trustee McLaurin.
Yeah, under Finance, I will have the usual list of payroll and accounts payable for approval, and that's it, Mayor.
All right, thank you. The Fire Committee, Trustee McLaurin.
Under Fire, first we have a request to go out to bid for the replacement of 6 overhead doors for both fire stations and the replacement of 12 door operators. This is included in the fiscal 2019-2020 budget. First, and then next, the chief would like us to discuss the addition of treat non-transport fees and lift assist fees by adding them to section 9-32 of the village ordinance. Right. So I think everybody should have a packet that the chief handed out.
This is a continuation of our discussion back in March.
2 months ago.
We were going to readdress it, and then just because of all everybody not here half the time, including myself, we waited till now to bring it back up. So part of the discussion we talked about was the amount of lift assist costs that were going on. They're becoming a problem. We're having the same people call us instead of them seeking other assistance for some of their needs. They always refer to us, and now we're helping them with every little thing. It's becoming a huge problem, not just for us, but all the fire departments. A lot of them are now starting to charge, and it's there to get them to start getting the resources they need instead of just relying on us. So in your packet was an example of one resident on the west side. Last year we went to his residence 66 times. We have one resident now in 3800 block of 124th. We're at that residence probably almost every day, sometimes every other day. Last week we were at that residence 4 times in 24 hours. The resident weighs approximately, it's a little bit, I'll leave it at that, but one of our firefighters actually tweaked his back trying to help the resident up, and when they brought her to the bed, she actually walked the rest of the way. There are 5 family members that live with the resident in this apartment unit as well. Whatever reason, they refuse to help the person up, so they call us for everything. We have another resident, a regular resident in Heritage too, same thing. So it's getting a problem where it's just constantly because they are not using additional resources. So in your package, there's also 2 sample letters that we would include when we do the lift assist. So if somebody really needs us, like if they come back from surgery, they need help in or help out, that, it's in the course of the duty, but when we're at 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a week or period of 2, again, we're overextending our service at this point, and we're risking our firefighters with lift assist that, again, it's not an emergency. They should have other resources to be able to use to take care of their needs. So.
Well, that was one question I would have in this sample letter you gave us from the Niles Fire Department. Specifically says the Village of Niles Family Services is available to help evaluate your needs.
Correct.
What do we have?
We
that would be
have
equivalent?
resources through Cook County. My EMS coordinator actually looked up the resources, so that would also be provided with the sample letter on what resources are available and where did they get it from. Same thing with Ward Township. So there are resources for pre-scheduled events or caregivers. This one resident in the 3800 block, 124th, that person actually needs to be in a nursing home, and she was in a nursing home. Now she's in an apartment. Supposedly she's having surgery at the end of this month, and will be in a nursing home again. I didn't print up how many times we've been to this year, but my guess is going to be at least 45 times since January 1st. So again, it's to the point we're just overextending because they refuse to get help. And then the one question was asked of her by one of my lieutenants is, okay, this is going on. So what are you going to do to get help in the future? I'll just keep calling 911. All right. The other downside of that is every time we're on a lift assist, we are now taking an ambulance out of service that might be needed somewhere else, and it has happened that now we have a delay of response if somebody actually needs the ambulance for emergency services dealing with the lift assist. Certain lift assist, because of the size of the person, requires all 4 of our firefighters to be there. Sometimes it's only 2, so we actually change our response based on if we know this person or not. And like I said, the one on 124th, now we are taking a whole station out of service to help this person up to get back in the bed or get back on the couch or whatever the case might be. So it's kind of forcing them to kind of look for additional resources to help them what they need to have in place instead of just dialing 911 because it's the most convenient thing to do.
Are they just choosing not to use those resources?
For some of them, yes. Some of them were not aware of resources, and once we told them about some of the resources, they have been using it.
And some just don't.
Right, and the one that sparked all this, if all of you remember right, was the one resident that was going out on New Year's Eve, and they needed us to help the wheelchair-bound person out of the house, and at 1 o'clock in the morning called back to help us back in the house. That was the final one. So, like I said, we need to do something. We need to put something in place. This will curb the people, or should curb some of the people that are abusing our system, and that's what it's abusing our system and our resources, and putting our firefighters at risk for non-essential or non-emergency type events.
But yet, on some of these aspects, you're still talking about adding a fee to it. So regardless,
you're still doing it.
yeah, you're still doing it, but now you're charging a fee for it.
Right.
Your firefighters are still at risk, so you're not mitigating that problem.
The thing with their insurance will not cover this, so they're out of pocket, and most people aren't going to want to spend $150. They'll find the other resource, and that's what's been found with other departments doing the same thing. So it will curb some of them. Will it curb all of them? Probably not, but it will curb the majority of them because they don't want to spend $150 out of pocket for us, for the service.
Obviously, I think we need a lot more discussion on this because I'd like to find out if we're doing this as the rule rather than as the exception. I understand that, but if it's 2 people who are causing an issue,
it's not 2. Most of our calls right now are psych evals and lift assist. That's the majority of our calls. In 2018, we went to 202 lift assist. The year before was 197. So our lift assists are going up as well as everybody else's. So it's an ongoing problem, and I don't see it stopping. And it's not, I'm just referencing two. All right, there's a lot more that are out there.
Yeah, I just, adding fees to it isn't going to resolve the issue. The issue is still going to be there, and especially with committals and involuntary committals.
But yeah, psych eval, that's a whole
the
different
raise.
thing. It's
Right.
nothing I can do about that, but.
Yep.
But I think it's important for the board to get an understanding of what these alternative services, potential options for our residents might be. Because also at the same time, is that I was at Heritage 2 last month when the firemen were there doing a presentation for the seniors. And one of the things that they encouraged was for the seniors, I mean, if they need help getting up, to call 911 and ask for a lift assist. So, I mean...
We don't want to turn anybody away for it. And sometimes a lift assist actually turn into an emergency where they need to be transported.
I also see where Chief is coming from. People are just taking advantage of
Absolutely.
the situation. And, I mean, to pick me up on January 1st so I can go out and then to bring me back home because I'm done with my evening, that's just taking advantage of the situation.
And I totally understand, you know, we need to find a happy medium for this, but I don't know if we are going to, I mean, if we flat out say 3 and you pay for the rest of the year, or, I mean...
Everyone, some departments actually, once you hit 6 or 7, you go up again to another tier, if you will.
Another tier meaning more money.
More money.
Well, and I mean, yeah, and like this example that you had in the packet, I mean, it went up as soon as you hit 7, and then it went up again as soon as you
Yeah,
hit
that's why
10.
I put it X through that. And I think we talked about that last time, too, of not doing that. But again, it's something that can always be changed if people are still abusing the system. And same thing, we get calls for rides because somebody decides that they need a ride instead of paying for an Uber or a Lyft to go to... And we've had it before that we've picked up somebody at the hospital, so yeah, I'm having chest pain, so we can transport them to the hospital. Before my guys are even done doing a report, they're walking out of there because they needed a ride to Blue Island. It wasn't a chest pain. They just needed a ride, and they're too cheap to go to Uber or Lyft or anything else. So, yes, it's the real world, yeah.
Trustee, I think what you're going to have to do is outline that. Obviously, we haven't approved anything yet, but we'll probably have to outline what the board would consider, unless you think it needs more discussion, but you're going to have to outline something. We're going to have to put together our own chart.
Perhaps we could have a individual fire committee report to go over in detail and make a recommendation to the board based upon that.
And I'll get more accurate stuff for this year, what we've done so far this year also.
That's fine.
Thank you.
So, we got a little time, so.
All right.
Okay. And next, under fire, we have a request for the addition of a $500 cost for all false alarm and nuisance calls. This will include the extinguishment of all open burns, false calls, and malicious fire alarm activations.
Right. So, at one time, and I don't know how it got lost, but at one time in our ordinance under fees, there was a $500 fee for any time we responded to an open burn that we had to extinguish it. Most of the time we go to open burns, the residents or whoever causes the open burns are cooperative. They understand. We have to explain to them there is no open burning in Cook County anywhere. Where they get their information sometimes, I don't know, but it's a mistake and we understand that. Sometimes we have people that are belligerent because they probably had a few too many cocktails before they called us. And that's what this is really designed for, is for those rare instances. It doesn't happen a lot. The nuisance part of it, and this kind of goes with another incident we had at Heritage 1 where one resident had a heating problem, so she decided to turn on her oven instead of following what the staff recommended for heat in her apartment, set off the smoke detectors. And then we have 24 firefighters from 6 departments responding lights and siren because she decided to use her oven to heat her apartment. And she called it in because she couldn't reset her smoke detectors. So she wanted us to reset her smoke detectors. So those are for those types of incidents. Again, it's something that's not used a lot. but it's there if we need it, and it's the same fee as we charge for extinguishing car fires.
Okay.
So, any questions, trustees?
No.
That one's much easier.
Yeah, I'm with you. I swear I thought we had that in the
We
emergency
did, and I don't know what happened to it in the last couple of years. All of a sudden, it's not there anymore, so maybe with one of the corrections, we lost it somewhere. So it's just to put that back in there again.
Okay, that's all I have under fire.
Thank you.
Thank you, trustees.
Police Committee report, committee.
Give the presentation of the April 2019 monthly activity report. The request to hire one part-time community service officer. This position was budgeted for. The position will be utilized primarily as a front desk person in the afternoon hours. This position will bring us to 6 CSOs. On Friday, May 17, 2019, from 5 a.m. through noon, the Alsip Police Department will be taking part in the National Cop on the Rooftop event to raise funds for the Special Olympics. Officers and volunteers will be at the Dunkin' Donuts at 12150 South Cicero and 11843 South Pulaski. Last year, they raised a record $15,000, and they need your support again for this year. On Saturday, May 18th, for National Police Week, we'll be holding an open house at the police department with 2 station tours. Tours will be conducted at 9:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. Households that show that they have registered for the Smart 911 will receive a raffle ticket for a small raffle prize. Finally, the approval of an agreement between the Village of Alsip and the Metropolitan Alliance of Police, representing the Alsip Police Chapter 669 from May 1st, 2018 through April 30th of 2022. That's all I have, Mayor.
Trustees, we are going to have a short, next week at board meeting, we will have a short closed session to review the contract before approvals, just so everybody knows we're going to look at that one last time. Thank you, Trustee. Next is the Public Work and Boat Launch Report. Trustee Juarez.
I have a presentation of the April 2019 monthly activity report, and I would like to inform the board that the Illinois Department of Transportation, IDOT, will be starting construction on 127th Street from east of I-294 to Estasian Avenue, Blue Island. This week, description of project is the resurfacing of 127th Street and median rehabilitation with pedestrian ramps. Estimated completion date is October 2019. Traffic delays should be expected for motorists traveling within this area until construction is completed. Any questions regarding construction activities may contact Area Construction Supervisor Michael Denny at 847-705-4252. 847-705-4252. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all, Mayor.
So, yeah, resurfacing 127th Street from 294 all the way to Wyerton Road, right?
Artesian.
Oh, really? Artesian.
Just west of Western.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Building Committee, Trustee Zelinski.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Thank you. Next is the Sewer and Water Committee, Trustee Dalzell.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Next, the License Committee, Trustee Juarez.
Oh, sorry, Mayor. Presentation of a list of licenses dated April 29th through May 10th, 2019. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Next, Planning and Zoning, Trustee Zelinski.
Skipping
Skip
the
me
agenda
again.
Sorry, I was speeding through there.
I thought you liked me.
Economic
What
Development, Trustee Murphy.
I have a presentation of the April 2019 monthly activity report, and from Mannheim Solutions, we have Roger Hopkins.
Thank you, Trustee. Just to summarize, we continue to work on the major projects that we've got up and down Pulaski Road. I think you all should be happy with the progress being made at Health on Earth, the chiropractor, right next to Checkers. It's coming along. And we continue to work on the plan review for Howard Chernosky and his strip mall up in near 115th Place. And then the other things that we continue to await are just some final development proposals and some acceptance of terms from both Captain Jack's and Firewater. And then now with the advent of the closing of U.S. Bank, Chris and I have been working on trying to find other useful, likely candidates that might locate in that facility. And again, we're, trying to focus on some sort of restaurant or other hospitality use of that property that'll generate a little more tax revenue for the village. We still think that there's some, food options that aren't being fully served on the Pulaski Road corridor. So, and that's one of those lots that's got abundant parking on it. It's actually a little larger than any of the other vacant parcels that we've got up and down the corridor. So, we're hopeful that it'll appeal to a family restaurant sort of business, and so that's what we're kind of targeting. And then we continue to do follow-up on other prospects that we've been working with over the past several months.
Very good. Any questions? No. All right. Thank you, Roger.
Thank you.
And that's all I have, sir.
I apologize. The next was the Planning and Zoning Committee, Trustee Zelinski.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Okay, thanks. The Special Committee reports, Village Properties, Trustee McGlohorn.
I have no official report this evening, but Mike, I have a question for you. While I was with the seniors at Heritage One on Saturday, one of the concerns came up regarding the street light at the southeast corner of the complex that has actually been out for quite a while.
120th and Ridgeway, Mike, southeast corner. I just spoke to one of the residents before the meeting started, and that's the light that's out. And apparently somebody got hurt there recently, and the seniors said the street light's out.
Okay. So.
Next, the Insurance Committee.
No report, sir.
And Trustee Murphy, the Ordinance and Legislation report.
We have a request for approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 5, Animals and Fowl, Article 2, Dogs and Cats, Section 5-23, Definitions, and Section 5-31, Restraint of the Municipal Code of Alsip, Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip. And that's all I have, Mayor.
All that really was, folks, was just a cleanup on some old language. The old ordinance said if you had your dog or cat with you, it didn't necessarily have to be on a leash if it was under your control. We are mandating that all dogs and cats need to be on a leash if it's not in your yard. IT, Trustee Dalzell.
No report, Mayor.
Human Resource Committee.
No report, Mayor.
Health and Pollution, Trustee Murphy.
We have a presentation of the April 2019 monthly activity report, and that's all, Mayor.
Thank you. Traffic Safety, Trustee Dalzell.
No report, Mayor.
Any presentations, petitions, or communications?
Come on, Mark, you gotta have it.
We just have the golf outing this Friday coming up at Fountain Hills, and tee-off time is at 3:30, I believe. 4:30, pardon me. And 4:30, like twilight. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and that's endorsed by the chamber, and I know the mayor and I are going, and there are still some spots available, so if anyone is available.
We call it goofing, folks, not golfing. We're out to have fun, right?
It is goofing.
All right.
And then, are there still openings?
And then I had one as well, too. I'd like to get this gentleman to come in just so we can acknowledge him as a community. I did get notice here that I'd like to recognize one of Alsip's own. His name is Chris McGarry. His parents are Julie and Tim McGarry. They're also from the village. Apparently, April 28th, Chris accomplished an amazing feat. He completed the 6 stars of the Abbott World Marathon Majors by finishing his last leg, the London Marathon. The major marathons are made up of Berlin, Chicago, New York City, Tokyo, Boston, and London. Apparently, Chris has ran in all these marathons. And Chris completed the first leg of the marathon in New York City back in 2013, and he just finished the last leg in London 2019. This is a major accomplishment that the people of Alsip should find some way to recognize, and I appreciate Jay Henry, who's an avid runner, brought this to my attention, so I'll certainly reach out to the McGarrys and see if Chris is around then, too. So that's all I have for that. So then, and I'll talk more next week about Cruise for a Cause. This is to benefit Sertoma that came and met with us recently. Any unfinished business?
Mayor, I just wanted to ask if we would be, when we would be, the board would be discussing possible shuffling of committee assignments since we have new trustees seated.
Thank you. You know what I was going to do is just ask for temporarily trustees, because it's going to be a couple of weeks until we get to another committee meeting. I would certainly like to have trustee Navas-Barza participate, and obviously in some reports even for next week at a board meeting. Would you want to assign the committee responsibilities that we, like anything that trustee McGreal had temporarily, would you like to assign that to trustee Navas-Barza? In other words, maybe you want to designate new committees, but we do that at a committee meeting, but that won't happen until the end of the month.
I'm okay with that.
Yes.
As long
Wanna
as
do
we
that?
discuss committees at the next committee.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'll do is on my report next week, I'll put on there, ask for a motion to approve
Police, insurance, and human resources.
police, insurance, and human resources to have trustee Navas-Barza report on, and then you folks we can bring it back up at committee after that in case anybody wants to redesignate committees, in case you want to redo those. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for bringing that. Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Any new business? Then can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got cake at the back of the room. Please, everybody grab a piece before you leave tonight. And congratulations to everybody that was seated this evening. Thank you.
Meeting adjourned at 8:27 p.m.